Tell me why I can't remember my high school teachers' names anymore, but some of the quotes from these books live rent-free in my noggin and will for the rest of my life because they're so good. So if you are looking for some fantasy romance book recs, we need to talk about it because I'm fully back in my Romantasy era and I'm thriving here. I started this first book when it was on KU. I didn't finish it because it was going to be traditionally published, which I'm so happy for the author, but I was left in a state of limbo. Now I know what happens, and I feel like you might like the vibes of this book as well, which means that we have to talk about Dream by the Shadows. So this one follows our female main character, Ember, whose family was just blamed for a horrible crime right after her sister had succumbed to shadow magic, like nightmare shadow magic. It's a big deal with shadow magic too. It's like basically taking over the kingdom. So just like file that away, put a pin in that for now. And then Ember ends up in the dream realm, which is ruled by this dark, mysterious, villainous guy. Yes, he is. And this is also a very big deal for Ember, but a very big deal overall. That's all I want to say. I feel like that gives you enough to go on. But for me, it's the vibes. If you follow me, you know that I love Belladonna. Like, I look at Belladonna as a standalone, but the vibes of that are gothic, but not dark. Like, I did not feel spooked at all reading this, but it's also kind of giving Labyrinth and Beauty and the Beast vibes. I saw a graphic on Instagram and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's the best way to describe it because that really does sum it up pretty well. It's giving enemies to lovers a little bit, and again with a mysterious male main character. And like, I just had a really good time reading it, and I liked the audiobook too. And I believe that this is the first in a duology as well, so just file that away for the future. Then I just want to switch lanes and talk about what I would say is an upper YA standalone read that is giving the most romantic vibes, like the best romantic witchy vibes. So of course that means we have to talk about Bring Me Your Midnight. I love this book. I feel like it does not get enough hype and it deserves it. So this one follows our female main character Tahereh, and she is a witch who is set to marry the governor's son. And this is all to create a sense of peace between her people, the witches, and the mainlanders, the non-magical folk. But then Tahereh meets a guy, a magical guy who she definitely is not supposed to be mingling with, but she is very much drawn to. And it may or may not be because he dabbles in a kind of magic that her family does not approve of. I know. This was such an atmospheric read. It is perfect for this time of year, but you don't need to read it during fall at all. I would say again, this is upper YA. This one was so romantic too. Like, I was swooning. I wasn't prepared for the swoon, and I did exactly that. Plus, like, the arranged marriage and the forbidden love aspect were stellar in this, and I cannot wait for the author's next book, which comes out in the new year, which is not that far away. This next book is the perfect blend of Pirates of the Caribbean and the Bridge Kingdom, but also completely in its own lane. But the tension and the yearning, I was obsessed. I am obsessed. So of course that means we're talking about Soulgazer. Sorsha, our female main character, needs to get away from the king, who just so happens to be her dad, because he is arranging a marriage for her that is not okay. It is not it. Just trust me in that. So her solution is to create her own marriage of convenience with a pirate, with Fallon. And I love this man. And he's everything you could want from a pirate too. And together they are going to go on an adventure because there is a reason that Fallon says yes to this marriage. There is a reason that they have to go on this adventure together. And while they're on this journey, there are feelings that neither of them can deny. And when I tell you I stayed up late to finish this book, I did. I love it so much. It is the first book in a duology. I'm so excited to see what comes next. It is much like Bring Me Your Midnight, very atmospheric. I will say that I need to read this again because I don't think I absorbed all of the magical aspects of this. Like, I need to wrap my head around that a bit more. But another part of me doesn't care because I loved this so much. You want to talk about tension and yearning and just like true pining? This book. And I would also say that the female main character is a mid-sized queen. I loved her so much. She's so great. She's just like kind and good. You just want the best for her, and this journey is everything. It's everything. I feel like we cannot talk about the ultimate, the original for myself book that set the bar for pining, for tension, for build-up, for the most epic love that I feel like I have read in a romantasy book. What would we call this romantasy? It's like urban fantasy. Does that still count? Yeah, it still counts, right? Anyways, the book we have to talk about, Clockwork Angel. So it is a completed upper YA trilogy. It does not have spice, but when I tell you, you don't need it. Like, I did not need it. And I was satisfied. I was was fulfilled. I was also heartbroken because the series really puts you through it, but it starts off by following our female main character Tessa, who has traveled from New York to London to reunite with her brother. And while she's there, she finds out that her brother is missing, and she stumbles into the world of Shadowhunters. And if you're like, oh my gosh, this is a Shadowhunters book, like I haven't read any of them, do I need to read this first? Can I read the other ones first? How do I do it? If you are going to read any Shadowhunter trilogy, this is the one I would recommend because you can read this without reading anything else in the series, okay? I digress. So she stumbles into this world of magic and demons and all sorts of things that she didn't know about. And she leans on two main characters to really help her through this. And those characters are the best freaking characters in the world, Will Herondale and Jem Carsters. These boys. And you might be like, oh, is this a love triangle? Yes, and it is the only one that I have read that I can say to the bottom of my soul that this will convince you that this trope works. This is the exception to the rule. There are other ones that work in a more like romance aspect, but this as an overall story in a fantasy setting, this is it. This is it. It also takes place in Victorian times, so think Bridgerton era. There is a ton of mystery. There's lots of magic. The characters are so lovable, and the found family trope is done so well. It really is worth your time, and I promise, like, just get to book 2. Get to book 2. And then if you do not cry in book 3, I will send you $1. Real talk. Now, the last recommendation for this video is perfect if you love character-driven stories about forbidden romance and hidden royalty, hidden djinn royalty, because This Woven Kingdom is that girl. This trilogy owns my life. And I really owe it all to a member of my Discord group who recommended that I pick this up because it is so worth it. So this one starts off with our female main character, Alize. I would say that she is the main character of all of this, but this is definitely a multi-character story. But Alize is currently hiding out as a servant, and she is hiding the fact that she is the long-lost heir to the Djinn Kingdom. In Djinn, in this world, they're not seen as equals. There's a whole lot of history there. There is a kind of like downfall of the Djinn, and Alize might just be their savior. I'm just going to say that, okay? The prince in this, Cameron, is drawn to Alize, and he doesn't know why, which is difficult for him because he's technically sworn to kill her if he ever finds her. And we all know how that goes. So through all of these POVs, we learn just how entangled their histories and their futures are. I think that this is a political story, but it's also deeply moving, packed with personality, characters that you cannot help but fall in love with. The found family trope, again, I love this trope when it's done well, and this is a perfect example of that. And I also would say that this is a slow burn of a story. I definitely think you could say this is enemies to lovers. Pining in it is really good. really good. You do have to sign up for a journey, but then once you're on it, you're like, oh, I like where we're going and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I highly recommend the audiobooks for this. They're so well done. And it's one narrator who does all different voices for all the different characters. And I love when they do that and they do it well. So this is a series I am obsessed with. I'm currently reading the 4th book that just came out this fall. I'm halfway through it and I don't know what's going to happen. So I love it. I'm obsessed and I highly recommend it. So those are the recs for now. I have upcoming videos with more fantasy romance book recs. So these are just some underrated ones that I feel like everyone should read, or at least give them a chance. If you have any other underrated fantasy books that deserve more love, comment those down below. I will definitely add them to my TBR if they are not on there already. I also have a Discord group. It is for book lovers. We talk about books. We talk about more than that. I send memes. It's a thing. I'm also active on my IG as well. All of that is linked down below. And thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.